Good morning and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here to do our compilations. So for those of you who haven't seen that before, basically what I do is I'm just remembering back to those days. Actually, Ben gave me this idea, but I'm remembering back to those days when I used to get those K-Tel albums all the time that would talk about that were just basically, they would bright purple or bright pink or bright yellow or some bright color with K-Tel sprayed across it and a bunch of like-minded songs on it. So that's what brought to mind when Ben said this, but we're a little bit more serious than that, but not too much more serious, I hope. So I put together a compilation of songs, 10 of them to be exact. Originally I wanted to go with 12, but this particular choice doesn't really enamor itself to shorter songs. So I chosen to do my compilation called Great Rock Songs from the 1970s. Actually, I think it's Great Hard Rock Songs from the 1970s. And so I have 10 tracks here, all of which I went through and picked out for this, and I put them in a certain way, trying to give a feel for the album. And as you've noticed, I've got the new hat going and the new beard, the beardless face going. So it's all new today, and so is this album. So this album is going to be called Great Hard Rock Songs from the 1970s, and I put together 10, like I said here. So what I've done is I've done kind of because back in those days it was all vinyl, there was no CDs or anything, so you had two sides of the album. So side one, I've decided I was going to make it that kind of hard rock and grinding songs, and side two would be a much faster paced songs. Although I did open with a very fast paced song, one that I've always enjoyed. I love the riff on this song. It's a fantastic tune, and that's called Black Betty by Ramajam, or Ramajam, Ramajam. And so this song is about 3 to 4 minutes in length, really catchy opening song, set up the album really well. I really like the riff on this particular track a lot. So then we move now into the slower paced grinding songs. There's like 3 or 4 of them in a row here. The second one I chose was from Black Sabbath, a 6-minute long, very heavy, very power driven riff. And of course we're talking about Iron Man here. I've always liked that kind of real heavy riff, and then it speeds up towards the end as he gets towards the end of him killing everything. And they said this song was a little bit about Nazi Germany. I'm not sure, or maybe it was supposed to be a song about Hitler. It could have been, I'm not sure. Everybody's open to their own interpretations, but this song is legendary for a reason, so I wanted it on here as my representative from Black Sabbath and as a hard grinding song. So the next hard grinding song comes from Kiss, off of their Hotter Than Hell album, Strange Ways. This is a real hard grinding metal song. Well, I don't know if it's metal, but it's definitely hard rock for sure, and has that heavy riff that goes through the song, but equally as much so as the guitar solo on this is fantastic. I think Ace Frehley is at his best here, just really scorching it out here. This is a classic Kiss song and one of their best, I think. Then we move right into a song by Nazareth, and I've got 2 props, and the 2 albums I'm propping today are this one, Nazareth's Hair of the Dog. Now the song I chose off here was Miss Misery. This goes back to when you're a teenager and you become enamored with some girl, and this is for guys, of course. You get enamored with some girl so much that you just can't break free. And that's what this song is about. It's so heavy, so melodic, so depressing almost, and crushing, and in every way and it's definitely, to me, the song that I wanted off of this album for that. And this album is fantastic. There's a lot of really heavy stuff on here. Of course, it's their most famous album. Did really well in the United States, a couple of million, I believe. Yeah, just prolific. 11 scorching tracks. Give this a listen to. The last song on side 1 comes from Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic, and we're talking about Sweet Emotion. Perfect song for this side of the album. Real heavy, emotionally driven riff, and catchy beat, and catchy vocals, and just a real heavy, slow, melodic song. I just love this song. I think it's a bit of an outlier with Aerosmith. Their songs tend to be, I think, a little bit faster paced, but this one is definitely one of the outliers, and a great song to finish off this side. So side 2, now we're changing a little bit. We're getting a little bit more faster pace, and I've chosen a song that it's a little bit on the silly side, but definitely a good opener for this. And we're talking about Blue Oyster Cult's Submission, Dominance and Submission. It's about 5:30 or so in length. Really good opening, crashing song. Really sets the pace for the rest of the album. The next song, a really upbeat, up-tempo, fast-paced, really good kind of crashing. How do I want to say it? Riffing song. It has that most notable riff that a lot of people will know immediately when they hear it what song we're talking about. And this is Roller from Canadian band April Wine, the only Canadian band on here. I had originally thought about slotting the Pretenders' Mystery Achievement in here. I just thought that this song a little bit heavier and a little bit more fitting on the album, so I put it instead. It was kind of a last minute decision. Okay, the next song, not quite as heavy as some of the others, but very up tempo, and again sticking with that kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of humor that I wanted to introduce a little bit on the second side of the album. And so I chose the song TNT from AC/DC's High Voltage album, or originally on their TNT album as well. It's one of the less lengthy songs on the album. It's about 3:30 or so, but such a catchy beat, such an up-tempo song. And then, of course, the final 2 songs really crunching, fast-paced, tremendous riff. So the first one is Heart's Barracuda. I had to include this on here. I know it's overplayed and gets a lot of airplay and stuff, but it's such a catchy, riffy beat and so fast-paced. Ann Wilson knocks this out of the park, as she does with just about everything she does. And it just pounds from the beginning to the end. Perfect song for this side of the album. And then the last track on the album is the second featured disc of the album of the day. So what I've done is I've chosen one disc for each side, and this one is the one I chose for this side. Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak, one of their great albums. The song I chose off here was the title track, Jailbreak, which has that such a catchy riff, and just you got Phil Lynot's deep, fantastic vocals just belting this tune out. Such a great way to end an album. And I started out with the grinding stuff at first because I wanted people to get into it, and then this I wanted them to feel like getting right catched up, like, feeling like high energy and wanting to go and listen to some more stuff. And so you should take this album and put it on and listen to it because it's fantastic. So that's it. That's my 10 tracks for my compilation album. Side 1 featuring Black Betty from Ramajam, Iron Man from Black Sabbath, Strange Ways from Kiss, Miss Misery from Nazareth, Sweet Emotion from Aerosmith. Side 2, much faster paced, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little bit a little bit jokey, I guess, if you want to call it that. Dominance and Submission from Blue Oyster Cult opening up, followed by Roller from April Wine, TNT from AC/DC, Barracuda from Heart, and then finishing off with Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak. Fantastic tunes. This album I would be playing a lot if I had it. If I was a kid again, it would be getting a lot of play. Definitely a compilation that I would like to have if it existed. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this tongue-in-cheek and fun-filled event of putting together our own album for our own compilation. It's kind of like doing your own playlist, you know. And so there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. Make any comments. How do you feel about these tunes? Would you replace some with the other songs? What would you replace? That kind of thing. And please subscribe. It's much appreciated. And we'll be back again with another compilation. I'm not quite sure when or what it'll be, but I'm sure it'll be fun. So take care.